Okay, cool. This is a good chair to sit on. Hey everyone, welcome to ISU GDC's Pitch Jam. This is an event that allows our members to basically come and pitch their awesome game ideas. We've got a couple of ideas that we're going to hear today. OC, do not steal. Although if you have your own game idea, feel free to leave a comment below or in chat or wherever you're watching this, and enjoy.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Scuttle, scuttle, scuttle. I'm going down the room.
All right.
I'm down here now.
All right. So before we go, introduce yourself.
Or hang on. Give it a second. Give it a second. Don't. Let me. Stupid. Okay. Wait. Here you go. Get up on that top. Ready?
All right. My name is Cole Hinker, and I'm gonna share with you my game idea for Webster. So basically, the concept of this game. So imagine.
Where the mic? Where the mic? Like put it on.
Oh, where the mic?
Yeah, where the mic?
Oh,
It's easier just to do this. It works pretty well.
But it doesn't work. That's not why we got it. It's not hard to do.
It is.
No, it's not.
It is.
This is not hard.
It is.
Look at that, and then just shoves it in his back pocket.
It's easy.
Shit's easy.
It's easy.
Shit's easy.
What was it called?
Webster.
Can you guys hear me now?
Webster.
I mean,
Can you hear
Yeah.
it? All right. See, it's good. So Webster, so imagine yourself the size of a mouse and you're just in a room, and think about trying to navigate through the room, climbing up on chairs, like think about trying to interact with like a light switch. If you look in this room, like you could see the fireplace, like what if you got on on top of that, or you got up on the couches, or even tried to get on the chandelier. That's what this game is supposed to be about, basically trying to go around and explore an open world, which is the house, and specifically for this game, a farm site. Whoa. So the story, the main character, his name is Webster, and he's a city mouse, but unfortunately he got himself into an unfortunate situation, and he found himself far away from home in an unfamiliar place. So he ended up at a farm called Oak Ridge Farm, and he found a lot of different, so he came across a villain named Boris the Rat, who almost captures him, but then he's saved by the Mouse Guardian Force, which is also on the farm, and he gets saved, brought back to their base, and he meets Lexi and Casey, which is going to be his friends throughout the entire game. And overall, basically, you're there to solve missions and go through different, dungeons. It's an open world game. It's not really dungeons like we think, but more like levels, and try to get through and complete the objective. And overall, you're trying to defeat Boris at the end of the game. So. Go. All right. So. Right here, it's probably hard to see. I just drew it with pencil there, like a quick character concept of Lexi, Webster, and Casey. So Lexi is on the left, Webster in the middle, and Casey on the left. And those are your friends throughout the game. And Boris is going to be the evil rat throughout the game that you're trying to defeat. And I didn't draw a picture of him, so I threw probably the closest representation of what he would look like. So overall, this is going to be a 3D open world game, but with some platforming elements. Like I said, you should, in this game, you should be able to, if you see somewhere you want to go, you should be able to go there. There should be some way to be able to get there. So throughout the game, you could explore the farm site. You can explore the house. There's a barn, a machine shed, the pastures. There's animals out there that you can interact with, and basically there's a lot to explore. Let's see. So the main enemies, so obviously the rats, those are your main enemies for the game, and they're going to be fairly easy to defeat, I guess. And then there's also other side enemies that you may come across, such as spiders, cockroaches, which are your regular enemies, and also army ants, which they'll be easy to defeat, but they're going to attack in bunches. So there'll be a lot of fighting those. And then also owls, which will be up in trees, and if you get in range with them, they'll swoop down and take you away. So, and then you'll have to end up fighting the owls in order to get free, or else it can kill you. So then the next game mechanic. So obvious for this, I want to have good jumping. I want it to be fluid and satisfying. Also the combat, it's going to be like a 3-hit combo system where you punch, kick, and do a tail flip. So basically punch, kick, and then you flip the tail, and then that'll be like a knockout blow, I guess. Health, basically you gain with peanuts. Basically throughout the farm, there'll just be peanuts scattered all over, so that's how you regain your health. And then there'll be different items, so I have this is going to be kind of like similar to The Legend of Zelda, as in you'll have different items, and they're kind of like makeshift, like just out of just random things, but button and handkerchief. I kind of drew something here where it's like a button and a handkerchief with some string, and it kind of acts like a parachute or kind of like a sailcloth when you're falling down and stuff like that, so it's an easier land. Also a fishing hook, which could be basically if you want to climb up high places and there's a hook, you can throw the hook up and climb your way up. And also a toothpick bow, which is basically a hairpin, rubber band, and a toothpick, which you could use as like a bow and arrow, and basically use toothpicks as ammo. So, and it's more for long range type of combat. So, lastly, just visual and audio. Basically, I want this game to be a bright, cel-shaded type of game. I don't want it to be too dark. So yeah, bright colors and all that, and you know, just kind of overall, just kind of like a fun game. I guess the audience is going to be towards maybe like the 8 to 14-year-olds, but it should be enjoyable for everybody, as most games are. And for music, overall, there's gonna be different types of music for different areas. So for outside, since we're on the farm, maybe more of like a country type of music. But then once you get indoors, maybe more like a jazz or something like that. And then in the machine shop, something more like mechanical sounding, something like that. Just in different areas to give it something different. So, and that's it.
Cool. I'm your number one fan. Okay, so first comment. Why aren't there more ridiculous open world games? We already talked about that a little bit.
Yeah.
I love the idea of open world games, and that's why I really fucking like your idea. Like,
yeah.
I mean, more like ridiculous open world games, not the shooty. Great.
Yeah.
Even though Saints Row is great, Saints Row is fantastic, and it's funny. It's like a different. It's still violent, ridiculous. There isn't anything innocent. Like there aren't any innocent open world games, and so that's why I think this would be fucking awesome. And yeah, that's my first comment.
All right. Anything else from the audience?
I like the idea of running across like the ground as a little rat.
Yeah.
Honestly, like scuttling across the ground using your rat.
Scuttling.
Yeah.
I don't know. That just seems really cool to me. I failed to hear this. Was it a first person or third person kind of deal?
It's going to be a third person
Good,
type of
good.
thing. So.
Yeah, I like that
Yeah.
too. Third one was good. Third one. Although you know,
Yeah.
having the option isn't always horrible. Like having GTA. But that being said, like I really like imagine like the different factions of mice, the field mice versus the like indoor
Yeah.
mice, and like
I mean,
really sweet.
I tried to throw like this was kind of thrown together pretty quick, but I tried to make like the thing where it was like the mice versus the rats, basically, that type of deal. And yeah, so it's almost like you're kind of like in like sort of like a task force against the rats, and like the rats are trying to take over the entire farm, basically.
Right.
So.
Some factions of
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. Just like a giant, it just is like a giant little mouse war.
Yeah, like basically, yeah.
This kind of reminds me of something like Sly Cooper.
Yeah.
A little. Like,
yeah. Well, see, that's actually like,
just a little. Just
like
kinda
I was thinking, like, you know, when you're going through different areas, you know, like you could be like climbing up walls and like sidling around corners, you know, just like little like nooks and crannies like that, trying to get through. So.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah.
Good job on the presentation, by the way.
All right.
You have good notes on there.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
I would actually like to see more cohesion in it. It kind of seemed all over the place with different aspects of things. It was kind of cool, but there was nothing really tying them all together.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It kind of looked like, honestly, I played a Gary's mod that was incredibly similar. You were mouse size and you ran around a room.
Yeah.
It's been like a thing featured in a lot of games.
Yeah.
And you had a lot of other things added to it, which is good. But it's kind of like a thing from this and a thing for that, and this random combat thing, and then a random thing for a weapon thing that has nothing to do with anything else we talked about so far, and now it really ties together to make it one game.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, yeah, I understand,
but
but
like, the core idea is good, but you need
Yeah.
to like, figure out a way to synthesize everything to be this game, and it's this game because it has all these elements as one thing, not it's a bunch of random things
yeah.
into this.
I mean, like I was trying to come up with something, you know, close, but it's didn't have a ton of time to.
I know.
So, all right.
Anyway, before you finish, I got one.
Before you finish.
Yeah. That's not what I was going with. So yeah, kind of tagging onto that. Like I like the idea of the 3D open world, different farming areas. You have like the jumping, the combat, the health items, all that fun stuff. What is the actual goal of this game?
So
if it's a 3D open world, why should I go to those different areas?
Well, basically, you're like put in a new place, like so you're like from the city, and you're put like into a strange place, and you have to try to make your way through it. And basically, I guess you have to defeat the rat at the end, and I guess from there.
Okay.
But why?
I don't know.
So just to compare to
Yeah.
other 3D open world games, I guess in a sense. So like Super Mario 64, well known. You
Yeah.
have to collect stars to unlock the area for Bowser and all that stuff. Conker's Bad Fur Day, you have to get home because you're drunk.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much the entire story.
Yeah.
But it's still guided in a sense that you have these different objectives to do along the way. And
Yeah.
so with your game, you'd probably have to do like different objectives, like with the mouse factions, I guess you could throw something in there. But like basically, like have like little mini bosses that lead up to the giant rat at the end.
Well,
And
yeah,
then
that's
you
what I
could
was
do
saying, like
stuff,
little
yeah.
dungeons, and then you'd have
Yeah,
like. little
and then I think
monsters.
what was it, like the Mouse Academy or something?
Oh, the special mouse force?
Like a mouse
Yeah,
force,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
you
like
could
a
do-
mouse school. Like you go to mouse training.
Yeah, you could do like that could be like even your like tutorial even like you could do like
Yeah.
missions with them, like you have to go out and
Oh yeah, was
save
it
a
any
bird or
mission based?
something.
Yeah.
It was? Okay, cool.
Basically.
Okay, cool. But yeah, I like the whole idea, cell shaded, the different music, different areas, like that's usually kind of a given, but I mean, it's good to obviously clarify it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, good detail.
Yeah,
Like, great
yeah.
detail. Oh yeah, great detail on the
Good,
presentation
good.
overall. Like,
Yeah,
really great
I like,
detail.
I like the concept art. I really like just being a mouse because it makes you think like outside the box. Because
Yeah.
if you look at a farm like as a person, it's
Yeah.
not that entertaining. But if as a mouse, like there's a lot of fun things you can go into with that.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, imagine like zip lining on Christmas
Oh, yeah.
lights or
Yeah,
something.
pretty much.
Like-
Yeah.
Alright.
Cool.
Well, cool then. Yeah.
All right. Hey, thanks for letting me use your laptop. So.
All right. Who is next?
Edwin, you're next.
All right.
Is anybody watching us right now?
No.
No.
I mean, no.
No. We're testing this. Like this is our first time we've ever
We'll
streamed
just put it
this,
up
so
on
we're gonna. We're like this was us testing which of the equipment would work for it. Like putting it up on YouTube.
This was the
and-
original idea of this equipment, by the way.
Yeah, this is the
This is the
original.
first time in a
use
month we've actually used it for its
Yeah.
purpose.
Yeah. No, we use it for our meetings.
Fair enough.
Yeah, like we've
Fair.
streamed.
Okay.
We haven't streamed
Yeah,
our
that's
meetings, but we have
Fair enough.
done other things. But I think with doing lots of activities, streaming our meetings would work out really well. People,
You might have to switch
while
on,
people are doing their little talking, whatever, we go back and be like, hey,
on the
Twitch,
top there.
or interact with the chat, like interact with the chat and things like that. Like, we should identify somebody to be like the chat talker, like somebody who sits in the chat talking and everything like that. Like, that'd be really cool. Anyways,
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Good name so far.
Space Fantasy MMORPG. Oh man, that's like really specific.
Why SF?
Wait, what is MMORPG? Is it many men or role-playing girls?
Yeah.
Sure. I've never put this on. Let's see if I break it.
Oh, it's fine. Just put it in your back pocket. You don't really have to clip it.
See, we kind of
There we go.
there because then when we ask questions,
This is exciting.
whatnot, it was the balance with that.
Right.
All right.
Find a way to do that better.
So I put this together like 2 hours ago.
Solid job.
So this is like very, very raw idea writing.
So you're saying it's bad? Is that what you're telling me right now?
All right, great impression so far.
Yes! I'm saying this is a very rough draft.
Sure.
So
Rough, you could probably use it as sandpaper.
maybe. So there's no name for the game yet. It's a working title, Space Fantasy MMORPG by me.
MMORPG.
So the basic idea of this Space Fantasy MMORPG is combining the idea of a space MMO, kind of like if you ever played Star Trek MMO. But I want to incorporate more classical fantasy RPG features into it. For example, all the different classes and the way clans work and things like that. So that's the basic gameplay. Basic gameplay, instead of traditional spaceship battles, it's going to be more like in a fantasy RPG, where you have your party or your group of people finding monsters in the wild. In this case, it'd be like giant alien monsters or space pirates or something along those lines. And then you use each party member's different skill set to balance out your parties and come up with strategies to kill the monsters. Because it is 3D space, movement is very difficult, especially for a traditional keyboard. So you might want to get the one of those gaming mouses that have all the buttons on the side, or just have a gamepad with a lot of macros set on it. And then one big thing that I hate and like about MMOs is that some of them that are very party-based highly discourages solo gameplay, or on the other hand, it's too much solo gameplay and not enough grouping. So I want to have a good balance. I want to have the game that is able to, hey, I just want to play by myself for a little while, and you can comfortably do that. But it's going to be a lot of missions that you are going to be required to be in groups, especially since the way the server is going to be set up. So there's going to be a lot of auto grouping available so that you don't be shy about joining a clan or anything along those lines. So the overall goal is there are 4 factions in the galaxy. You have to conquer or unify all the other factions. Once you do that, as a large galaxy empire, you now have earned the right to challenge the god race. If you lose to them, then the server gets reset. There's 4 factions again. If you win, then you become the god race. And then if another server gets to have the right to challenge the god race, they'll be fighting you. Oh, and then if any faction gets conquered or unified, then the members of that faction can either join the conquerors or unifier, or they can go rogue and start their own militia group to try to restart the faction. So the story, it's based on 2 things. I wrote some short stories based on that concept, and that is based in turn of the anime No Game No Life. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of it. And then the game Mass Effect. So classes, traditional fantasy RPG. So you have your basic classes. For example, in this slide I have warrior, monk, white mage, black mage. And then that gets translated, those concepts are sword and shield based, but they get translated to spaceship versions of that. And then later on in the game, you get to unlock an advanced role. So every class branches into 2 different classes. Here are some more classes. I based this on Final Fantasy XI's class system. And that's a picture of all those classes. So ships. So this is space, so we have ships. So you're gonna start out as a lowly fighter. Level 1 to 10, you'll be a fighter, learning how to play your role, your class. After that, then you upgrade your ship at level 10. That's when you start going to groups, start being more dynamic, and now you have a crew in your ship, so you have to do a little bit of crew management. And as you level up, you get a better ship for your class, and eventually get a gigantic dreadnought ship. And all the ships are based and stylized after your class. Factions. So the main factions, the Human Republic, the Ludian Empire, Organi Confederation, and Susarian Hierarchy. And then lastly, the Chikorathi God Race. So you get to pick out of the first 4. So the humans are the most balanced ones. Then Velutin, they're very aggressive, melee style kind of people. Urgini Confederation, they're more of a support role, so they for like thieves and rangers. Then Susarians, they use magic, or like space magic in this case. So they're more for mages. And what that means is that the items available and the equipment available for that society is going to be more geared towards those classes. So social aspect, which is the big part. The class here are called fleets. Fleets can have up to 100 people. It gets to be out of group at the beginning, so everybody gets the same fleet. If there's more than 100 people, then it's going to overflow to another second automatic fleet. The leader of that fleet is going to be whoever performs the best in a 2-week period. Players can make their own fleets as well. In that case, whoever created the fleet or whoever the designated fleet leader is the leader of that group. So the way we manage the factions is based on the fleet's performance. So who gets to assign missions and who gets to give orders to the fleets is going to be the Admiralty Board. Who gets to be in the Admiralty Board? An officer member of a fleet of which that fleet had the best performance that month. So if a fleet wins, hey, you're the best fleet this month, then that fleet gets to pick, hey, we're going to send this officer, get to promote as an admiral. So then the Admiralty Board, they manage the whole faction. They get to decide, hey, we're going to attack this territory, this region, or hey, we're going to do some more resources and kind of thing, and things like that. So Admiralty Board basically consists of 12 members, one for each month. You get to have a tenure of 1 year. So after the year's up, if the position is vacated, then you can, whoever wins the promotion that month gets promoted. If there is somebody already in that position, they have to fight in a 1-on-1 PvP, and whoever wins gets to be in that role. Each admiral gets to manage a territory in their faction. If the admiral is killed by an enemy player, then they are demoted. That position gets vacated, and the territory he manages is now severely weakened and up for grabs. Here are some more ideas I just stole online.
He's honest. He's honest.
So the Saurian ones, if you can recognize what this is, that's my ideas for more like the mage people, mage races. The one on the right, that's actually a style of ship that the Vulcans from Star Trek has. So I wanted to have more technology, kind of society-looking people. Then the very aggressive people, they're reptilian-like. So I picked this art that I saw online that's very in tune to that kind of style.
Green.
Green and rough edges and stuff. And then the last one on the right is, that's the human ones. That one's actually from Battlestar Galactica. And thanks.
Cool. All right. The floor is open to comments. Anybody got anything? I don't want to open this up.
I liked it. It is very raw, like you said.
Yeah.
It is very raw. And there's a certain beauty with that, too.
Say beauty, you know? It's symmetrical. It looks nice.
I think it has quite a good foundation to be built upon.
So I thought the beginning with the whole like challenging other servers, you become a god tier, faction or whatever that other people get a challenge. That is a very, very awesome idea. Like that is a crazy cool idea about like you are the gods. You are the gods. So like if somebody, if like oh that's just so cool to like be the gods, be in that position. But one thing that I kind of found weird was like a lot of this was like it was based on time. So like you had to be a part of the board for an entire year, right? And some people can do that, but not everyone can do that. Like I don't even know what I'm going to be doing in like 5 hours. Like so I don't even know if I could be able to stay on a game for an entire year.
Yeah, that was one of my main concerns with it being a year. I think a month would be totally fine, just select it every month or something, or however you would have decided it. Because a year, people go inactive pretty quickly in an MMO, especially like over the summer, I guess. So.
Or a way for at least a non-enemy player to directly challenge a person who isn't doing anything.
Right. So, yeah, I think a year is too long, but you could obviously play.
I mean, yeah, like it's a rough idea, so it's not balanced.
Right.
Like, no, yeah, you're that's fine. But yeah, no, I really liked the idea of it being like PvP almost in that sense, but it's not just straight PvP. It's like yeah, it's like political PvP. Like it's a political PvP game. Like that's so fucking cool. Like that's not something I've ever would have thought of. It's not something I've ever even heard of. Like that's crazy. And I love the idea of keeping it still magical based. Like I still love the idea of it being like
Space magic.
yeah, space magic. Like there isn't enough of that. Like there honestly God isn't enough space magic. I really wish there was. Like
There's guns and technology.
anytime we go to space, it's always tech. It's always all explained away with tech. It's never been like you've never had a mana system in a sci-fi game, except for Shadowrun. Like I don't know. It's just like I wish like space magic sounds so cool. Imagine that like shit, just like the particle effects you could put in space. Oh, it'd look beautiful. Anyways, that's my comments.
I have a random request, only because you kind of pointed out that like a lot of games are either heavily geared towards solo or only groups or whatever, and yours was very much like you have to do both. I would actually like to see an option where I can do either one as much as I want to.
Right.
Because honestly, half of the ones that even try to combine it in some way, shape, or form, like Final Fantasy XIV, I think balances it reasonably well. But it's basically annoying because you do a whole bunch of solo cards, then no, you have to do dungeon or you can't do shit else. And it's like, well, I don't want to. I just want to. I'm playing the story. I like.
You should play Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Oh, I did. It's about the only game that's kind of close to being able to do it because it kind of gives you a group thing to kind of do most things or whatever. But it's like that one's kind of basically all solo. You could solo pretty much your game or whatever. But the group stuff isn't really all that fun. So basically, there's no real reward for doing group stuff. It's the only reward is the solo part. Final Fantasy 14, they are both rewarding, but it makes you do both, and it's frustrating when you're like, I don't want to. Like, because you get to a point where you have to do the other thing that you don't want to do anything at all, or you're just kind of standing and you can't do shit. So, like Terra kind of tried, and it would give you like a solo option for dungeons and things like that, but you didn't get your progression out of it. You'd be sitting until you did it with a group anyway. So it's kind of pointless.
Right.
It'd be kind of neat to see a thing where like you can do the whole thing solo or the whole thing with a group, and it kind of just balances for where you are. You can pick. It'd be a neat thing to see if somebody could do it. Honestly, I would enjoy that as an option. Just something.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Awesome. I was gonna go.
Oh right.
Oh.
You have comments.
I have comments.
Opinion matters.
Yeah, I'm not really going to go on into like the classes and the ships because that's just more balance that we don't really care about right now. I do like the ideas though of obviously having a difference of the options, I guess, because it is an MMORPG and everyone should be different and have their own say and all that fun stuff. I did like though, going off of Zach again, that basically a group will grow and grow and grow and grow and grow until like they've taken over the entire server. And then I imagine like they would go to like their own like tournament realm or something, like inner server battles or whatnot, however you do. And so I really like that idea because I've played a lot of like strategy games, they were called, back in like early 2000s, where basically one clan would just rule the entire world and then the world would end because if people tried to join,
like why go to the losers?
It's 1 versus 100 then, so like there's really no point. So yeah, that gives something for that clan to do outside of the world because they've already conquered the entire world. So I really like that idea. And then I'm also unsure about how like the solo versus clan, because you had like the auto grouping thing where like every 100 people, right, got into their own automatic clan. And so I do like that idea because like I'm antisocial, I don't like talking to people.
Right.
So if I'm forced into it, maybe I might change my idea on that. And like like people who are really into that clan thing, they can make their own player clan, which is a good idea. And everyone who's like, yeah, sure, whatever, I'm lonely, I have no friends, I'll just go with everyone else who's lonely, I have no friends. So I think it actually is a pretty good system. Obviously, the player build clans might obviously have an advantage over the random clans, but at the same time, you would be surprised at what happens.
Like look at Destiny. There's a reason they don't
Right,
have PvP
right.
for raids, or there's a reason they don't have matchmaking for raids.
Right.
Very well, like they're very adamant about the stance. Like raids would fucking suck with random people. Like you would never get through that.
Yeah. And then with the Admiralty board, I was kind of on the fence with that because, like, obviously someone needs to be in control of like how things are run and whatnot, and it shouldn't just be one person, the main guy. But that's kind of like a hard thing to balance as well, because usually like the clan leader would be like, hey, you guys are my advisors and we're going to work this together, and everyone else is like, well, just deal with it. I kind of like the idea of like being able to, where you could like challenge people to take their spot. Is that what it said?
Yes, so at the end of every month, since the winning fleet gets to pick, hey, let's promote this guy.
Yeah.
If the place is not vacated, if the position is not vacated, then he has to challenge the sitting admiral.
Yeah, that was like a good idea of me, because then the stronger people usually know what they're doing, so usually they're more capable of leading an entire clan. So I like that idea, and it's really all I have, I guess.
Cool.
So yeah, cool. I like it. It's just going to be a bit to balance because
You're right.
But yeah, good idea. Good idea. All right. Anything else? No?
Cool. Thanks.
Awesome. All right. Last up.
Is it just me?
That's you.
Last and most certainly least.
Just you.
Okay.
No pressure.
Save the stick figures. Do this.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're all caught up in the moment, and I just need a second to catch my breath.
It's really hard to catch your breath when you're singing.
To hell with the spins, I'm staying. I fucking love that, like that band. They're so great. Just their good, like just their most popular songs. The rest of them are really slow and boring.
Yeah.
But their popular songs, their top 10 on Spotify, so good.
Nice nipples.
Next dog.
Nipples.
All right, fam.
What's up, fam?
Totally forgot how to use this program. There it is. I see it.
That's such an adorable picture. I love you for it.
Thanks.
Your background on your computer is adorable.
Thanks.
You're adorable. Not you.
All right, guys. I'm going to hand these out to you and ask you not to read them until we get through. Zach, mostly you. Please don't read it. Don't read it. Don't read it. Stop reading it. Stop reading it. Stop reading it. I do need to keep one, so I'm not going to hand one to you. But you guys can all check these out. So
I already read it.
stop. All right. Okay. So my goal, or my game, I'm calling it Notes. And you'll understand why in a second. But my main goal with this game was to really bring to life a caricature. And really take a caricature we've all been drawing in our notes, our entire lives basically, and really give it a character, if that makes sense. And this caricature that we've all been drawing is the Stick Man. Just a round head, some eyes, a short little mouth, and a tall, lanky body. In this game, Notes, we have our character named Alan. He's just, like I said, your typical stick man. He has no idea who he is, he's Alan, but he has no idea who he is, where he came from, or why he's in this page of notes. All right. But what he does know is basically everything, right? As he's going through this student's notes, he's fixing and changing and solving problems in this student's notes, and making his notes more clear, because this student is just your average run-of-the-mill, average Joe named Ben Jeffries. Ben Jeffries. Right here we have our kind of like almost a mock level, except it's not really a mock level because there's a ton of little Allens, Alan, 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 Alan. You know, this is just kind of the progression of how a level would go inside this notes. And every level is a separate page of notes, right? And progressing through the game, these notes are going to become more and more difficult. The puzzles are going to be harder to solve. The enemies are going to be harder to fight. And the problems are going to become much more difficult. Here you can see, basically the game is going to start off. He's going to kind of pop up here in the top and have no idea why he's there. He's going to hop down a couple lines and look at this and be like, hey, this is wrong. I don't know how many of you remember Calculus 1, but that's not the definition of a derivative. That's just one of the things, you know, you would see in this game. Obviously, can't have it all be incredibly hard like this, but this is just kind of like an idea. Alan, our stick figure, is going to be traversing through these levels, like I said, fixing all of these problems. He's going to basically be running through these levels, running, walking, jumping, rolling, and fighting, and traversing through a normal level, kind of like, almost like a style of, oh, I don't know, a Metroidvania. So these levels are, like you saw earlier, going to be 2D, very, very action-oriented, but it's also going to have that puzzle-like flair that you would get in a typical Metroidvania. And throughout the game, you're going to, this character, or this caricature, Alan, is going to really actually evolve into this character and kind of realize different things that's going on in this Ben's life through his notes, through his doodles, through his, like, you know, subtleties in his writing, because there are going to be more than just math classes. There's going to be math, English, science, history, and he's going to have to go through all of these notes, solve these puzzles, fight these doodles to make it through, and he's going to really learn about this otherworldly character, because to Alan, like, from his birthing into existence, he's just known these white backgrounds, blue horizontal lines, and red vertical lines. That's his world. And this other guy, this other person in this other world is making his world. And he's going to really learn, you know, about his world and the other world at the same time. This game is going to be developed for the Wii U. It's intended to be played on a large screen, free of, you know, menus, and that's all going to be taken care of on the second screen. But the second screen is also going to be used as the puzzle-solving mechanism or problem-solving mechanism. So Alan sees something wrong, or he can't get past this one thing. There's obviously something wrong. He needs to change it before he can continue through the rest of the notes. Now, I mentioned fighting. Alan's going to have a plethora of weapons to use, from unused numbers he finds along that he stores in his bag, like this one that he's using as a lance or a sword or a spear or what have you. Or, you know, he finds a doodle that Ben has drawn, and it happens to be a sword, much like you would find as an Uruk-hai weapon in Lord of the Rings. And he's going to use these different things to help him through the game. And each level is going to have, or each class or what have you, you're in class for 50 minutes at a time. Each class is going to have about 6 pages of notes. And you must get through those 6 pages before you can, before Ben gets up and goes to his next class period, which might be going from math to English or so on and so forth. And then you have another 6 pages of notes to get through. And you'll have X amount of classes to get through before the class is over. And, you follow that story through this entire year's worth of notes with Ben. And that's really the game. That's what I've got.
So first of all,
You want to go first?
great choice in the genre. Truly superb choice in the genre. You may have chosen the best genre ever. No big deal. But great choice in the genre.
That's it. That's all I have to say.
That's really it's a really clever game. And I really like this could be done really well with the art style. Like, the art style could look really charming. Really good.
Do you remember Drawn to Life?
Yes.
PSX?
Yeah.
That's the idea.
Yeah, no, I mean I get it. Like I get the idea.
Okay.
Like, it's an incredibly charming like art style.
Yeah.
But I did have one actual idea to add on to yours, and it's something that I thought of because most games, like Resident Evil, they give you like a ranking for each thing. It doesn't really make sense in the actual game itself, right? You don't get graded in real life per thing, right? But what if at the end of every level you actually received a grade on each one? And in this case, it makes sense because they're class notes. It's the same as getting a grade in a class. Like,
Yeah.
So it'd be like how well you go through the level or whatever would affect the guy's performance on a test or something like that. And so the grading could actually be done to like, no, make it more competitive and make it more fun, but it makes sense in this universe. It actually makes sense as a mechanic in this game.
Right.
That was the main thing. That was the only other idea. But also a good choice in the Wii U. This would be this is charming as fuck. Wii U games are generally very charming, but also this just fits really well with the Wii U idea. Like with the drawing, like with the actual drawing thing, it wouldn't be too far to be like, oh, we have a mechanic where we draw on the screen. That's perfect. And then you have your own doodles in the game. Maybe like I don't know. That'd be pretty cool. Something along those lines. But like Wii U, great choice. Other than that, though, I can't really think of anything.
Cool.
Yeah, so I like the Wii U. Obviously, is a good choice.
I love the Wii U development.
Because then you can actually like display the certain problems, and then you can correct the notes on the gamepad, which makes sense because you have to like draw stuff.
I have no idea how I'd go about actually implementing that, but I could learn.
Talk to me after.
Yeah.
My only issue is actually because that kind of helped in the way somehow with the like grades. I'm not a fan of like the time limit, and I think I might have mentioned that to you sooner.
Right. I
think
agree.
actually you could just not have a time limit.
That's the plan. I wasn't gonna have a time limit. I was gonna have a set number of levels before the class is over that you had to finish before you move on in the next class, and you come back and forth. That way, it keeps things different, chopped up, and you're not just doing math always.
And that's interesting. Like, have you played Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance?
No.
Because
I think I told you this,
the time-based mechanic in Dream Drop Distance, you switch between Sora and Riku. It's very off-putting until you get the hang of it. And even then, you're kind of like, it's there and you deal with it. But like, I mean, if you swap in the middle of a boss battle, when you come back, his health is restored, and it's really annoying. Making like the final boss kind of a bitch.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, it's something you can get a hang of, and as long as you didn't like punish the player for not doing it fast enough, like I'm a slow gamer.
Yeah, me too.
I'm a very slow gamer.
So comparing back Dream Drop Distance is if you run out of time, then you still have the opportunity to actually go back from the beginning. It's not that you just never can do it again, it's just that you have to go back a ways. And with Dream Drop Distance, actually, like if you fail a boss battle, you can actually like immediately switch back to Sora Riku from one you just lost. So technically, you lose about the entire boss battle in like 30 seconds for like the transitions. But with that, there's really no large punishment. It's just, hey, this wasn't fast enough. You know how to do it now. You know the boss patterns, so just do it a bit better now.
Yeah.
Stop being bad. Just do it
Because
better.
remember, my favorite thing about video games is waiting for shit. I absolutely love waiting for shit. It is my favorite thing. Waiting for platform cycles, waiting for screens to load. My favorite thing in video games is waiting for shit.
So, yeah, I think a lot of this does come down to level design.
Right.
If you could do some mock-up of levels, that would be probably a better idea of what you're looking for. And like I saw that, like the math level, probably you'd have to identify like what the problems were and how like those problems will be solved and whatnot.
Right. And I would have
like,
to.
You knew they were wrong and whatnot,
Yeah.
but like exactly how you go about fixing them.
Yeah.
Because like obviously maybe not everyone knows high school calculus.
Exactly.
In fact, no one knows high school calculus.
Not even the
They say
people
they
that
do.
took it.
Yeah. Even
If they say they do, they're either double E, they're either an electrical engineer, or they just got out of that class.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not wrong.
But,
It was
yeah.
You see, I was thinking about that, and I'm like, God, I don't know how many I would have, because I mean, I would have to like go into a specific kind of class that this person would be taking and think like all of these different possible ideas. And
Like you could just do like half a semester, like end at like the midterm or something.
right.
Or honestly,
Or just like up to a single test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
or like do like a thing of notes for all of your classes, but like for once a week or something to give spacing to have story happen in the creator guy's life anyway for him to develop.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Learning from about.
That'd be really cool to like somehow integrate the guy who's taking notes, like integrate his life into the story.
That was the intention.
Yeah.
You know, like in the writing class, there would be little subtleties in his stories.
Yeah, you mentioned that. Yeah, and I
So
agree
like
with
having
that.
like a week would be like, oh, this thing happened last week and it was terrible, and you can see that it had an effect on the kid because it happened a while ago. It wasn't like, well, I just thought he was fine yesterday. What happened? Why
Yeah.
is he so upset today?
Yeah.
But yeah, do it some way clever, but like keep it also general. Like a lot of keep it something we can project ourselves onto, so we can relate to it. And so yeah, well I really.
You should have a stick girl or the social words kill you.
I'm glad you liked it because I'm pretty sure I was sitting in Chinese drawing.
I bet you're yeah.
Yes. No. Oh, fuck. It didn't go. I was drawing this over and over and over. Just this like stop frame animation kind of dealio,
yeah, I can't do that.
dealio of him like running, and I was just doing that over and over because I was bored as fuck. And yeah, and I was just like, man, wouldn't it be cool if this were a game? And he was like fixing my notes because I suck at Chinese. And
Cool.
yeah. And I'm really glad you liked it because I just elaborated on it from there, and I genuinely want to do this. So, anything else?
So I like the idea. You can, I think this is actually an achievable game. You can get super creative with the level design, and if you really even want to, you can even make this an educational video game.
Yeah, I mean that was kind of a like an addition to the game is on top of this story that we're telling and this fun, like I don't know, I think it would be fun using different like math operations as weapons and numbers and
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, Thunder Doom.
You have like a whole bunch of other things, and you can also really learn something from it because, like I said, Alan knows everything except where the hell he's from or what he's doing here, and basically everything. So he knows and doesn't know everything.
Oh, there was one I was gonna make.
I would also like to see an option at some point for probably other platforms because not everybody has a Wii U.
Right.
That's one.
Right.
And I see where it would work for that, but like the same thing with dual screen, you can do that on the DS now. And there's got to be some like PC would make sense for this, and just you could modify it to something else other than just Wii.
Yeah, this
Right.
would work really well as like a dual launch on both the 3DS and the Wii U, like they used to do all the time. Like when they came out with the game, it was on both the Wii. There was a different version for each one.
Right.
Like Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers has a different version for each one. They had all the different features, and like this should be perfect for that. Like the different levels and different stuff. But what I was actually gonna say originally is, this is also a very prototypable game. Like
Right.
this is something you could do like pretty damn quickly. Like, I mean, with the art style being the way it is, this is something you could like just throw together one of the levels and have that be a proof of concept.
Right.
And like that's something that's very much doable. So, cool.
Neat. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, you close it. You Mike. Everyone, you three stay here. I want to talk to you.
Here you go, Ryan.
Really bad.
No, actually, this thing has a built-in like leveler, so it changes.
Zach, shut up.
No, I'm gonna do it with you.
Are you with me?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it with
Okay,
you.
get real close.
I'm gonna do it with you.
Get real close. Get closer. All right.
Almost fell.
All right. Thank you for watching our pitch jam. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you guys have some your own ideas, and we'd love to hear them. If you have any ideas, obviously send them to us. Like, comment, and subscribe, because for every subscription we get, that's one vote for impeach Zach. So.
All right, guys.
Actually, and this is when I'm talking to them. They don't know it yet. But if you look in the description below, down there, you can actually see these guys' pitch documents and presentations. So you can follow along that way too. Don't steal. OC.
OC, don't steal.
Don't steal.
But other than that, go forth, make games.